I even think we're going to have a UFC fight. Does anybody watch UFC, the great day in the world? We're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this, on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there. We're going to build a little, we're not, Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. We're going to have a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 20, 25,000 people.
I saw Jones. We don't know if he was serious. Is he not retired anymore? Is he back?
You jump back in the pool, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Officially?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because they're not going to want to miss something like this. How sick is that for you that now you kind of got this White House event for them and it's like, so like this is what we're in.
No matter who popped up or who didn't or whatever, we would put on an incredible card. But the fact that literally everybody wants to fight on this card, it makes it a lot more fun.
What would be the dream main event?
The dream main event right now would be Aspinall.
Yeah,
versus Jones
at the
on any main event.
Possible that McGregor and Jones would fight on the same card?
Could be.
Donald Trump just dropped a bombshell on the world of fighting. He wants a UFC fight at the White House. That's correct. The Octagon may be coming to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and the MMA world is going insane. Politics just hit the mat with punches, and this could be the craziest crossover in combat sports history. Donald Trump officially broke news of plans to host a UFC event directly within the White House, a decision that immediately took over the internet and shook up the MMA world. With his well-known close relationships with Dana White and customary front row seating at UFC events, Trump's announcement wasn't made in vain. He indicated he desires to bring the world's top fighters to the planet's most powerful address, making history while doing it. The announcement immediately fueled speculation about what sort of card would be able to meet such an incredible and over-the-top venue.
I even think we're going to have a UFC fight. Does anybody watch UFC, the great day in the world? We're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this, on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there. We're going to build a little, we're not, Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. We're going to have a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 20, 25,000 people.
Dana White, hearing the news, was said to be over the top and didn't contain his own excitement. In a short statement, he claimed he's already in the process of putting together the largest, toughest card the UFC has ever had. White hinted at title bouts, much hyped comebacks, and fights that would put the roof on, and even if that roof is located at the White House. With Dana in charge, the UFC isn't merely seeking to host an event, it's setting out to rewrite the annals of sports history. The stakes are greater, the vision is greater, and this could be the most ambitious event in UFC's history.
How sick is that for you that now you kind of got this White House event?
Literally everybody wants to fight on this card. Makes it a lot more fun.
Saw Jones, not retired anymore.
Jump back in the pool, so.
What would be the dream main event?
Aspinall versus Jones.
Is it possible that McGregor and Jones would fight on the same card?
Could be. We will absolutely positively put on the baddest card.
With Trump's announcement making headlines, the MMA rumor mill went into overdrive. The greatest shocker, Jon Jones has officially come out of retirement. He's rejoined the USADA testing pool, indicating a serious comeback. The timing could not be more impeccable, with most people thinking that the temptation of competing on the highest pedestal in America was sufficient enough to lure Bones back. This one gesture sent the division and social media into a frenzy. If Jones is returning, he is not doing it for any fight. Something big is on the horizon, and fans are glued to each morsel of information. Not to be outdone in the limelight, Conor McGregor also went on social media and stated that he is also bound for the Oval Office. In typical McGregor fashion, he gave the impression that he also wishes to get in on the action, and joked about becoming the first Irishman to knock a person out on White House property. No matter if he's serious or merely trolling, Conor's inclusion of himself into the mix provides gasoline to what was already a burning situation. Assuming that both McGregor and Jones both come back for this giant event, the card may become the most watched in fighting sports history.
I do like the dough. I'm in this zone until I can clear my slate. It's looking like I'm headed to the Oval Office again. So that's where I'm heading next. But I let these men fight for this one.
Everyone's energized, but what the fans are calling for is Jon Jones against Tom Aspinall. And they aren't alone. Michael Bisping recently came out in favor of the bout, declaring it's the biggest heavyweight fight that can be made at the moment. Aspinall has shown himself to be the division's most lethal threat, Bisping declares. And watching him face a legend in Jones would be an event in a lifetime. The British commentator had stated that if the White House card is true, this is the main event that card deserves.
I think Jones would come out of retirement, and that would be the main event at the White House. John Jones versus Tom Aspinall, England versus USA, all over again.
Chael Sonnen contributed to the hype, announcing that Daniel Cormier favors Jones versus Aspinall too. The former double champ thinks the timing, stakes, and narrative make the fight inevitable. Chael said DC, in spite of his past with John, admires what such a battle would do for the sport. Having Cormier support this bout gives seriousness to the hype, and when legends weigh in, it's evident this is no dream fight. It's turning into a call from everywhere in the MMA world.
Who do you headline? Now, I just had this conversation with Daniel Cormier. And Daniel Cormier said, if you're going to go to the White House, if this is an event, if this is a spectacle, it's a one-off and it's a special thing, you gotta have an American go over. This was Daniel's take on it. And this pained him. This pained him to say. And he says, Chael, if we gotta have an American go over, like in a sport as difficult and as competitive as this one, there's only one guy you can put in to assure that the Americans win. You got to make a phone call to Albuquerque. That's how Daniel worded it. He didn't want to say John Jones. He didn't want to like put this compliment and this praise on him, but I knew what he meant when he said Albuquerque.
Daniel Cormier himself chimed in a bit later in another interview with a more straightforward verdict, saying if Jones and Aspinall were to fight now, Jones would still emerge victorious. He complimented Tom's development and skill set, but made it abundantly clear that John's fight IQ and ability to adjust would see him through.
I would have said, you'll probably beat him right now, because guess what? Tom has never been pushed into those championship rounds. But if Tom gets to those once he gets to those championship rounds, even now, say Cyril Gane pushes him 25 minutes, and if he beats Cyril Gane, but he learns to go 25 minutes where that first time you feel that, I gotta get up off that stool after the third round. Yo, Tom hasn't gotten off the stool for a third round. You needed to fight Tom now, when he doesn't have that experience, especially as John Jones.
Cormier stated that John is just too seasoned to get blown away, even with time off. His remarks resonated with fans and pundits alike, again sparking questions about whether Jones has another dominant stint left in him, or if Tom is indeed the new king in the making. Cormier took it a step further and put the rumor to rest regarding Jones's retirement from competition, telling the public it wasn't about fear. DC said John didn't flee the sport, just walked away because the flame wasn't there. He wasn't afraid, he just quit fighting, Cormier explained. That revelation defied the narrative and made Jones's choice more human, reminding fans fighters leave for reasons beyond injury or pressure. But now, with the White House as a stage, fire appears to be burning once again.
John Jones. So John Jones retired a couple weeks ago, and so many ran to call, I said it. I said he quit because he didn't fight Tom Aspinall, and so many people said he ducked. I was in this weird situation where I don't want to say he ducked from someone, but I was saying he quit fighting. I still don't believe I don't believe that he's afraid of anybody. I just don't think that's how any fighter thinks, especially one that has had the success that he's had.
Dana White confirmed later what fans' suspicions had been. It acknowledged that a Jones versus Aspinall fight would be the optimum scenario. Although nothing is set in stone, White indicated that if the stars aligned, this could be the main event of what could be the most watched event ever in UFC history. He dubbed it everything fans want and more, hinting that negotiations are already in progress. If Dana's pipe dream comes to fruition, Jones versus Aspinall under presidential spotlights might be the most memorable moment in the sport's contemporary history.
I saw Jones. We don't know if he was serious. Is he not retired anymore? Is he back?
You jump back in the pool, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Officially?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because they're not going to want to miss something like this. How sick is that for you that now you kind of got this White House event for them, and it's like, this is what we're in.
No matter who popped up or who didn't or whatever, we would put on an incredible card. But the fact that literally everybody wants to fight on this card, makes it a lot more fun.
What would be the dream main event?
The dream main event right now would be Aspinall versus Jones
at the
on any main event.
Possible that McGregor and Jones would fight on the same card?
Could be.
But that's not the only big fight being tossed around. Daniel Cormier also said Dana is very seriously contemplating a pay-per-view spectacular Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev fight. A champion versus champion matchup with top-level striking and grappling skill. It's the type of bout that becomes legendary the moment it happens. Having that in the mix, and with the chance of it making the White House card, this fight could become something much more than a spectacle. It could be the ultimate UFC summit.
Told us. We're going to get into all of it. One, he said Ilya Islam could happen the moment Islam becomes welterweight champion. He feels there's a super fight to be had.
Subscribe now for the breaking fight news, bombshell revelations, and all the build-up to what may be the most historic UFC event ever. When politics and punches meet, you know it's going to get wild.